Hi everybody and welcome to the Unique Mechanism. I truly believe this is game-changing marketing design. And right off the bat, I want to make it very clear that I wish I invented this stuff, but I did not. In fact, it was a guy who was a challenger or started off with the challenge all those years ago, who, if you remember old David Copperfield, bless your asphyxiated soul, um, when he would say, grasshopper, if you can take the rock out of my hand, you're ready to go out in the world. Well, Todd not only took the rock out of my hand, but went and shoved it up my ass before I could close the palm. He's done an amazing job, and he is a groundbreaking marketer. And what he has done here with his E5 training is just unbelievable. And I was privileged enough to be invited. Todd invited me to his workshop to explain what he has discovered, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring some elements of that to you here today because, like I said, it's a game changer, and I think it's absolutely crucial to everything that you're doing in terms of your work and your project. And for you high fact finders, probably answers the number one thing that is the biggest sort of mental roadblock as well. It will require work, it will require energy, and I'm so thrilled you're part of the squad because we'll be able to help each other do this. We've got the Academy Facebook group, and we'll be able to help each other with our unique mechanisms, with our marketing thesis. And when you understand how crucial these are, and having the squad there to help you come together and put all that together, and myself in our weekly engage and implementation sessions, you'll see where this all comes together. But you can see why I think this is the perfect first core training for the month. So I'm very excited to bring this to you. So let's set the stage here, okay? So the first and biggest thing that you all see when you get your research is it looks like this photo, right, is competition. It just seems like everybody's doing everything. Not only is everybody giving information away for free and all of that, there seems to be dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of ebooks on your topic, and there seems to be competitors everywhere, and it just seems to be, why would anybody possibly buy my stuff when there's just so much other stuff out there, right? That is a huge challenge for people, right? Why look at all these people all in this race? How can I possibly stand out? Right, so that is one of our core issues. Our second core issue is I'm just not special, right? There's nothing unique about me. There's nothing special about me. I have no special skills. I'm just an enthusiast. I'm just somebody who loves this process. I'm interested in this niche. I'm keen to do this, but I don't have any special skills. I'm nothing special. I'm not an expert in this area. So this is also weighing on us. So you've got this plus competition. I'm not special. But then we add on to that where how many of you have put in incredible work, to try to make something happen, to earn your first dollar, to build up to that $10,000 a month target. And despite the work and the effort and the sales and trying to push yourself through all of these stages and challenges, it just hasn't worked. No results. Right, which is our classic, and those of you in the Academy will recognize this slide because it is the huge worry, is failure. A lot of us have been trying to get something entrepreneurially off the ground for the longest of times, right? And I think with the unique mechanism, this will be the light at the end of the tunnel, and it won't be a freight train coming through the tunnel, right? It literally will be the sun of the promised land. So I think that's, these are the core issues. And does that, let's just check in just quickly. Does that sound, which one of those things is your biggest worry when it comes to doing, creating a business, creating an academy style business? All of them hit the nail on the head. All three, says Diane. Right, that's very much the case. wouldn't it be awesome if we had this blue ocean to play? Now, this is an admission, and I must fix this. Blue ocean, red ocean strategy, which is a corporate strategy. It was in my non-corporate phase where I was completely blown out of corporate, so I never read the book. But the premise is great. Red ocean is where there's all these competitors, and they're basically sharks, right? So the reason it's red is red with blood of competition. Whereas if you can find a blue ocean where there's no competition, that is an awesome place to be. Makes sense, right? Well, wouldn't it be great if we had blue oceans in this incredible area of competition? There's blue ocean. Well, after today, you'll see exactly how that is done. Also, what if you were unique in your niche, that you had something that was totally unique to you? I'm here to tell you that not only will we find something that's unique to you, there is a very specific methodology to that process, which we're going to go through today in this training. And that, if we had, a blue ocean where there was no other competitors and it was unique, sounds like the promised land, right? This sounds too good to be true. Stay with me. It won't. And most importantly, progress, right? We want to see progress. We want to see forward momentum and movement. And our ideal, our aspiration is to hit that home run marketing idea which catapults you to that $10,000 a month and beyond. That's the promise here of the unique mechanism and how it goes about. We've done so many important things in the Your First Dollar book and in the academy, in the fundamentals training that you've seen so far, in identifying markets, identifying pains, gains, and jobs to be done, the SAGE document, which is such an important thing, getting leads for the first time using Facebook lead generation, getting communication and talking to our clients using the Winter Haven method. We've done all of those things. This is the next step, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. All right, let's go. So there are 5 keys, if you like, to unique mechanism and setting the stage for what is this extraordinary solution to the challenge where, even in the most crowded of markets, we can find a blue ocean, we can be totally unique, and we can hit that home run, right? That's the promised land, and we don't have to worry about competition and being, not being special. No uniqueness, right? No expertise, right? We can solve all of that using these processes. But there's some fundamentals that we need to acknowledge, and why this process, in particular, why Todd developed this particular process. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first concept that we need to learn and understand is the concept of mental opt-out. This was a forehead slapping moment for me, and literally, this is for all my years of marketing. This was just an absolute slap in the face of why didn't I? Just a huge forehead slapping moment. In this day and age, we have so many messages. If you think about the heyday of Gary Halbert, and you think about the heyday of, Caples and Schwartz and all of the titans of the direct marketing industry, the John Carltons, and so on, they were operating in a market where there were 4 free-to-air TV channels, a newspaper, and some radio stations, and mail. Right, that was it. Today, if you compare that to today, we have more marketing messages coming at us in an hour than they had to deal with in a year. So there's this incredible, crowded, filtering situation. This is enough, and stay with me here because this is enough to get you rocking in the fetal position wherever you're watching this, right? When you just think about it, how the hell do we compete? How do we even get noticed in this incredible field? And from our own personal perspective, when you jump on your email and you see that there's 150 email messages, The brain needs to protect you. It absolutely must protect you. And the only way it does that is the thing that it does absolutely best is filtering out. It has to filter out. No, if you think about all the things that are going on around you right now, it might be, electrical noise from a fan, or it might be, your heartbeat or your breathing. If you were aware of all of these things, you would go mental fast. Right? There's a condition where people are hyper-aware and it causes incredible anxiety, and it's a terrible condition. So your brain protects you by filtering stuff out. And we need to categorize things very quickly. And your brain is an incredible categorization engine. And so what it does, as soon as it hears anything that is familiar to it, so for example, if I was to say, welcome to my new coaching program, all of a sudden, despite it could be the most awesome coaching program, Niche Style Academy is the most awesome coaching program in the world. But here's the thing, as soon as I say the word coaching, mental opt-out. Your brain has immediately opted out, and whatever your belief systems are around coaching, that it's super expensive, that it doesn't work, blah, 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 instantly is made. So when you do an ad, for example, when you do an ad to, and we're going to use Emma's example as we go forward, and also work on mine as well. If we just say use Facebook advertising to get more customers for your business, instant mental opt-out. They've heard that message 100, if not 1,000 times before. Right, now, let me just check in. Is this starting to understand? Do you get the concept of mental opt-out? Makes total sense. This is happening all the time. And unfortunately, most of our marketing messages, in fact, 98% of marketing messages are just running straight into this mental opt-out situation. As soon as we see those hackneyed phrases, as soon as we see the pitch that's been done 1,000 times before, use Facebook to get more leads, straight in the bin, straight in the mental opt-out bin, right? It could be, I can get more customers for your business, straight in the mental opt-out bin. I haven't got time for that. Your brain is just trying to protect you from the phenomenal numbers of things that you do. So John says if he hears the name of certain internet marketers, he tunes out, right? Because you know what it's all about, right? Oh, okay, it's them. And that's a close. As soon as you see the phrase, hey, my friend, Todd Brown, right? Oh, okay, this is an affiliate offer, blah, 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 right? Instant thing, big aha moment. I'm so thrilled, right? So that is the concept of mental opt-out. So we need to understand this is going on, and it is never. And if you think about where we are in society, right, where we are at this point in time, this is the biggest issue that we have. The biggest issue we have. The awesome part is there's a most incredible and wonderful solution to this, which Todd figured out. We also have to understand our markets are more and more, well, it depends. Our market will be at different levels of sophistication. For example, until probably the 80s, 90s, remember we always used to just go to the GP. We just went to didn't matter what was wrong with us, you went to your local doctor. Now, of course, what happens? You go to your cardiologist, you go to your ear, nose and throat specialist, you go to your knee specialist, you go to your blah, blah, blah specialist, right? Because we've got more sophisticated. As a market gets more sophisticated, in the internet marketing world, this is one that we're all familiar with, the first course ever on internet marketing was done by a guy called Corey Rudel, who sadly died in a car accident. It was just he could just say how to make money online, and of course that was the market was completely unsophisticated. They barely knew what online was. Now, fast forward to 2017, there are people who are experts in Facebook lead gen advertising. There are people who are experts in specific types of YouTube advertising. Do you see how, as the market gets more sophisticated, it gets more fragmented. Okay, and we have to deal with that, and you have to understand where is your marketplace on the level of sophistication, and you have to match your marketing message to that level of sophistication. Okay, and we're going to go into that in a lot of detail. Okay, so when you think about, as we get more specialized, as we get more sophisticated, we need to find narrower and narrower areas of speciality. Now, what I want to introduce to you, and as I said, this is completely Todd Brown's concept, is this amazing, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is all, I'm about to just rock your world here via Todd, because I'm going to introduce you to the marketing timeline. So if you look at your screen now, I want you to have a look, because when we talk about creating a marketing campaign that achieves blue ocean, that achieves uniqueness, that we don't have to be an expert, that we don't have to be anything. If we do the right job, with a marketing campaign. Now, I am using the word funnel and campaign in the course of this lesson very broadly. It's like when I'm saying funnel, I'm not saying a specific funnel. When I'm saying a marketing timeline, I'm not talking about a specific sales letter, although it could be. I'm not talking about a launch sequence, although it could be. I'm talking about it in its most general form, right? And its most important form, because this is what we need to do. And when we're looking at our marketing timeline, we have to work backwards. As the great Stephen Covey would say, we begin with the end in mind. So if we look at if we first look here at the offer, right? So the offer is part of the sale. If we look at, if we do things right, marketing, which is education of our audience, is 75% of the job, right? And if we do that job right, we should turn sales into an order-taking exercise. That's the ultimate. We want to be if we do our marketing right, our ultimate fantasy, not fantasy, it's going to be reality, but our ultimate is we do such a great job with our funnel that people are begging to give us their money, right? They are begging for us to take their money from them. That's where we want to be, okay? We want to be in that. If we get our marketing right, then when we ask, when we say, do you want our help with that? They say they're desperate. They're concerned, indeed, that we won't work with them, right? That's where we want to be. That's our ultimate goal with a funnel. Now, today, we're not going to talk about the offer, because the offer is literally what is the offer that you're going to build. But when you're doing a E5 style marketing campaign, the offer is the very first part of what you do. I actually want to, but the offer is something, and again, when I say offer, guess what? Marketing opt-out. Plenty of you know, oh yeah, I know what I mean by offer, and just keep that in mind. I know what I mean by offer. Where I want to focus today is here, which is believing the marketing thesis. So if you think about it, there is one thing, and I'm going to prove this to you, and by the way, we're going to create your marketing thesis on today's call. There's a point in time, there is something that they have to believe, that the result that they want, right, the result that they want, you will be able to deliver using your unique mechanism. Now, I know you don't know what unique mechanism is yet. You will by the end of this, okay? So they need to believe that you can deliver what you're promising, the result they want, you can deliver. That makes sense, right? That's the final point. Like if you look at a marketing education campaign, they've got to be at the point where, hey, this is absolutely what I need. This is going to get me where I need to be. I need to use this unique, cool thing to do it. And then you literally offer that unique, cool thing. And they're there ready to go if they believe that. So at the end of every marketing cycle is this point. It's the belief point, where they believe, based on all of the education that they have received, that yes, this is the solution for me. Now, This is what I need. It's not the product. It's not your product. You're not selling your product. This is so key. Listen to this very carefully. You are not selling your product. All of this marketing funnel is to convince them that they need this type of thing, this strategy, this product, this service, this not product, this strategy, this service, this type of thing will deliver them the result. And then you say, hey, here's what you need. Here's the thing which perfectly matches that need. Does that make sense? Let me just check in. So so do you see how if we do this marketing right, we get this thing? So just let me know in the question box here. Does that make sense? Makes perfect sense, Merrin. Yeah, and it's a bit of a this is a bit of a mind because when people think about creating the marketing funnel, they think they're talking about the product from point one. You're not. Right? You have to convince people of the idea first, right? You have to convince people of the solution to their problems first, and then you offer the product to the solution, right? Super cool. So today we're going to be working on believing the marketing thesis. And by the way, just by way of background, where Todd learnt all of this was by modeling Agora. Now, this is a classic, talk about mental opt-out. I don't like Agora. I don't like the way they market, right? Because they use a lot of politically based advertising. The Death of America, many of you might have seen, or the Obama's mistress. You know, President Obama has a mistress. The highly provocative ideas, which are incredibly effective. Okay, but that puts me off that particular style. So I completely wrote off anything that they did. But they are a $500 million a year information marketing product, right? Which is crazy. And so I'd completely missed all of this because I had effectively a political issue. I never bothered to study it, which was my mistake. You know, sometimes as a marketer, you have to separate that what's going on here with the ideology, which is why I don't do politics stuff at any point in time, because I don't want to put people off. Yeah, Mr. Bonner, absolutely. You know, so let's keep going. So if we know, and this is what's exciting about this, if we know that there's one thing, the marketing thesis that we have to convince them to believe, okay, and we're going to create the marketing thesis. I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. Then guess what? You're putting together a case, okay? So the marketing argument, which is our next step of the path, is literally everything that you act. It's like an episode of Law and Order, as Todd would say. You become a prosecutor. You prosecute, you give here's why this is important, here's the proof. Here's why this is important, here's the proof. Here's why this is important, here's the proof. Do you see how powerful that is? That's not, you don't have to be a genius copywriter to do that. You just need to lay out the steps of the argument. So then when you go, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you do this with this thing and do this, you get this result. And they go, yeah, absolutely. Yes, you've proven the case. That's what we're trying to do with our marketing funnel. And so the marketing argument is the thing that is here's statement, proof, statement, proof, statement, proof. That's all. So all of a sudden it becomes a hell of a lot easier, because all of a sudden we're designing our marketing funnel to prove one thing. One thing at this big belief point here, they have to. So, you know, this point here, which is so crucial, if you want to make the sale super easy, then you convince them of this belief at that point. You convince them of the marketing thesis. Okay, so stepping back again. So to get them into listening to your marketing argument, you have to have a compelling lead. Now, in the trade, the lead refers to your headline, and the first 200 to 300 words of your thing, of your funnel, okay, or of your sales letter, or of your video. And indeed, what happens is you can divorce it of the media. So the lead is your headline and the first few paragraphs that get people invested, because the lead sells you to invest the time in the marketing argument. Does that make sense? Right? So the lead gets, all the lead's job is to say, you know what, I'm going to spend time, I'm intrigued, I'm going to listen to this marketing, you're not going to call it the marketing argument, but they're going to listen to that section of the marketing argument, or they're going to watch these series of videos of the marketing argument, or they're going to read this part of the sales letter, because you've got them past the lead. Now, the lead is incredibly important. And indeed, we're going to study the lead as a separate session. Surprise, extra bonus, because, and here's why. One of the best parts of the Academy, something that I'm so excited to deliver to you all, is Copy Club. Okay, so Copy Club is going to be a way that we can gather 6 Academy members, any 6, and go through a process, this process used by Agora themselves to critique copy. And what they critique first is the lead, because if you haven't got the lead right, anything else is immaterial. Okay, everything else is immaterial. If you haven't got the lead right, if I'm not intrigued enough to go forward, there's no point writing the rest of the stuff, because the lead doesn't work. However, to make the lead work, you still have to understand what's the marketing thesis. You have to work backwards. But once we've got the lead, so in Copy Club, what we'll be doing is evaluating people's leads, because that lead could become the Facebook ad, it could become the YouTube ad, it could become a sales letter, it could become video script. The media doesn't matter. The lead is this important concept. So I'm going to dedicate an entire training to coming up with the lead. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, the first step, again, working backwards, is the big idea. This is the hook, right? This is the thing that intrigues people. So let's talk a specific case study here. Oh, actually, no, I'll come back, and what I'll do is I'm going to demonstrate all of this in a case study in just a minute's time. So let's have a look at the, so we've got, there's the marketing timeline, and what we need to do is we need to build out each element. Today, we're going to focus on believing the market thesis, because I think this is absolutely the core concept and will solve so many of your problems. Let's go back to the presentation. So you ask yourself, okay, the Winter Haven method, check. We've got responses. We've got leads. We've got people. We've got a market that's prepared to talk to us. What's next? Well, I would argue to you that there's one of 2 approaches, okay, that you can go. If you're very familiar with the market, then you may be able to go straight to product. What I'd like to contend is that what we want to do is actually go to minimum viable funnel. We want to make sure that funnel pays for itself by creating some sort of front-end system that sells something to people, so we can amortize the cost of our advertising. So we're getting leads, and those leads are being paid for. So a minimum viable funnel. Now the funnel, remember when I'm saying funnel here, okay? Russell's done such a great job that funnel is referred to as like your ClickFunnels thing. I'm referring it to as your entire marketing campaign. being that as it may. So what's our minimum viable marketing campaign, our minimum viable process here to get you earning money? Because if we can't get the leads, then there's no point developing up big, expensive back-end products, which are going to make us a lot of money, right? All of this is designed to be able to get people into your leads. Not just, and this is the important point. In years gone by, we've thought the email is enough. What we want to look at now is, even more importantly, a buyer, right? We want a front-end buyer, somebody who buys something. Now, some of you may be saying, oh, Ed, are you talking about tripwires here? Because again, mental opt-out. No, completely the opposite. Our first buying opportunity, like for me, as I'll show you in our case study in just a second, is a $497 product, the Your First Dollar implementation program. It's not a tripwire at all, right? So that is an example of a buying funnel that amortizes the cost of generating leads. Now, I should say, and that the big idea, if we look at the big idea here, the sole job of the big idea and the lead is to sell the funnel, to sell this. That's what the big idea, the only job that it has is to sell not your product, not anything, but to sell people that they need to spend the time to look at your funnel. Remember, funnel, generic, talking about the biggest thing. This is a major change, right, to the way people are thinking. So, all right, oops, let's, where are we? And we've seen here, beginning with the end in mind, I've talked about that. Okay, so we're going to go with a case study. There's a case study that many of you are going to be intimately familiar with. But first, what I want to do is I just want to check in with you. And what's been your biggest insight so far with what I've talked about so far, what I presented to you so far? So just hit us up in the question box. What is the biggest insight that you have seen in so far? What's your biggest aha right now? Glenn, I'm so glad you're recording this. Yes, and I am recording, just double checking. Callum, selling the funnel first. That we're selling the funnel and not the product. The mental opt-out, Cheryl. There's quite a lot. A mental opt-out. Not selling the product in the funnel, correct. Being a thesis with asserting something and then proving it. Yeah, it's a much easier concept to unpack. It's not so much voodoo when you think of it like that, Linda. Believe the marketing thesis that you will deliver the result they want. Yes, very important. Selling it like a lawyer in a courtroom, statement proof. Mirren, it's not one item that you're selling, but a large concept. Minimum viable funnel. Channel is ultimately part of the product, which is what I've been arguing for. You're absolutely right. It is, right? You get the funnel right, and this is something that I totally agree with Russell on. One funnel changes your life. One funnel that is right gets you to that $10,000 a month. Just one. And it's so true. Now, you may need to go through a bunch of iterations to get there, but just one will get you to that 10,000. And that's why it's worth spending the time and effort and energy, because this is not magic, right? And this is why I'm so glad you're in the academy, because let's face it, this is going to take work. This is not, if this was easy, then everybody would be doing it, right? It's not easy, but most people aren't even aware. They're oblivious to it. So that's what I'm so excited by. 75% of marketing is educating the audience. Absolutely. It's all about them. I sort of understand why I'm making little money. Still a bit confused. Don't worry, Gary, we'll figure it, we'll get that sorted out. If we educate them, then we don't have to hard sell. Absolutely. I'm thinking I'll need to hold off starting my Facebook lead gen ad until I understand this more. We'll see. We'll see about that, Linda, but that's really good. Okay, here we go. Case study. The Swedish scientist. All of you who have come to the academy so far have, I was invited to Todd's workshop. And all of this was unveiled. He literally paid for the world's top internet marketers to be there. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my God, I've just been, and I'm considered, hang on, I'll just show you this. Hang on. Right. Just to put this in context, right? This is a gold CD. If you look at that, I don't know if that's reversed, but hang on, where are we? Right. I'm considered one of the greatest copywriters on the planet, which is lovely. And I came from this event thinking, oh my God, I need to hand this in, right? I need to hand this in because because I've just, how lazy have I gotten, right? Where the instant that I was talking about any sort of message, like if I'd mentioned a mentoring program, mental opt-out, coaching program, mental opt-out, make money online, instant mental opt-out. Because if you think about my market, if you think about the level of sophistication of the online marketplace, it has, from where Corey was way back in Make Money Online, where that was such a new and exciting concept to people, that was crazy. Now, some of you are in markets where, guess what? You're at that level, right? The sophistication of your market is such that they are, your solution is a unique mechanism right now, right? Just because you're presenting it to them and they have no clue. A lot of what you're seeing here is really quite unique. Only because, it's not because I came up with it, Todd did, but because I'm presenting it to you and because you're seeing this and now you'll be able to utilize this yourself, you get that. So I came back from this thing, and if we have a look here at the timeline, the first thing and the easiest thing for me was the offer, right? So I said, right, this academy is the most important thing. It's my full-time job now. That's the only thing I do. I'm so thrilled to be doing it. It's a privilege and I love it. So, okay, I was very comfortable with the offer and what I was going to offer people and what they were going to get. I knew I was delivering extreme value. People still I get boxes almost every day saying, I just can't believe you were able to respond individually. I can't believe that you're able to do all of this stuff. And I can because A, I'm a bit of a whiz with tech, and B, there's a structure to the whole thing, right? So I was very comfortable with this part of the process, okay? The marketing thesis, as you'll see soon, and we'll talk about that in detail, that was pretty easy to do as well. Marketing argument was really, really simple because I knew what the lead was. But most importantly was I knew what the big idea was. And the big idea, so if I'd said, because ultimately what the Niche Style Academy is it's a coaching program. And I mean that coaching can be a pretty perverted word. And again, you talk about mental opt-out. The moment you mention coach, it can have incredibly positive connotations and it can have extremely negative connotations. It's a word, such a loaded phrase. So if I had sent out an email, which I would have prior to of going to have this miracle of the unique mechanism shown to me, I would have said, hey gang, new coaching program and mental opt-out. Right? Total mental opt-out. All right? So I knew I couldn't do that anymore. So what I had to do was look at, because the idea, the concept behind it was, there was this amazing book called Peak, written by Anders Ericsson, which talked about how high performers work and that they need to be in a squad, that they need to have a coach, they need to have the right mental models, they need to turn up at specific times each week. And I knew this is what I wanted to base my academy on because this is the way to deliver the results. I'd had the privilege of 12 years of seeing people succeed and seeing people fail. And it was a passion of mine. So if I had said, here's a webinar, right? Hey, come and tell me why let me come and you guys just come along to this webinar, take 90 minutes of your time and I'm going to tell you about coaching and why coaching is important. Woof. you've already blanked out. Some of you have gone unconscious right now. Yet that's what I would have done because I was lazy, right? Having gone through here, I realized, well, you know, as soon as I use the word coach, it's instant mental opt-out. So I need to come up with an idea. And so the idea was the Swedish scientist, 10 violinists, a guinea pig, and what it means about your success this year. All of a sudden, there's no mental opt-out. Isn't right? There's no mental opt-out. Are you smelling what the rock is cooking here? There's no mental opt-out because you've got nothing to... Swedish scientist, 10 violinists, a guinea pig. There's no mental frame that you have. There's no way you can mental opt-out. And how these things are going to implement here, that is the concept of a big idea and the lead. That is what gives you the intrigue to go forward by having some sort of big idea and have something sort of unique approach. But then when we went on the webinar, so when you went on the webinar, you might want to go back. In fact, I'll put a link to the actual webinar because you'll see this entire process writ large, right? But if you then look, the lead was capturing that, talking about, you know, phrasing the webinar, and then it was making the argument, not about coming to work with me, but making the argument of why you should apply peak performance principles. So my goal by the time we went to make the offer was that you were utterly convinced that you coming to the academy was, sorry, not coming to the academy, but you needed a coach, you needed a squad, right? And you needed mental models as a way to go forward. Right? I hadn't talked about me, what I was doing, nothing through that whole 45 minutes of the presentation. My whole role was being a prosecutor saying, here's why you need a squad, here's the proof. Here's why you need mental models, here's the proof. Here's why you need a coach, here's the proof. Not talking about me, but talking about you and your concept. Okay, now let me stop there. What insight have you got from that case study so far? Wow, this is fabulous. Loving it, says Nadia. How do you find out the real sophistication of the market? Great question, Michael, and we're going to cover that very, very shortly. The light bulb just pinged. That's genius, Ed. Ha, so that's part of why my lead gen ads aren't working. No big idea. Correct. Exactly. Not a light bulb, a halogen spotlight. The big idea, curiosity. I don't normally watch training again, but I might have to watch this a second time, right? You have flipped it on its head. It's about me, not you. Awesome, right? This is the key, right? And it was an incredibly successful promotion. And here's the thing. Now, just so you don't think, what did I launch just prior to the academy? Your first dollar. If you think about if you apply everything that you've learnt so far to your first dollar, the book, can you see what mistake I've made? Can you see what incredible, in fact, the title of the book, Your First Dollar, you know, get your first, you know, research your market, build your list, make your first dollar inside 30 days. What have I done? What have I done? Can you see? I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you to help me fix that in just a minute when we start working together. No whiskers. Mental opt-out. Look at, you're learning fast. Mental opt-out, mental opt-out, mental opt-out, mental opt-out. Well done. Well done. Exactly. Complete mental opt-out. So I've got to fix that. So that's part of I need to fix it, right? Total mental opt-out, because there's nothing unique about it, okay? There's no uniqueness. All right, so let's get into this. What is the marketing thesis? So if you recall from our marketing timeline, The whole goal of this funnel, and remember, funnel could be a video, copy, it could be anything, okay? I'm just using the word. The whole goal of this part of the 75% of the timeline is to get us to the point of believing the marketing thesis. So my marketing thesis was that you will make $10,000 a month by utilizing the methods of this Swedish scientist, Anders Ericsson, by finding a squad, a coach, and the mental models that require it. And the other thing that I had to see is without spending $10,000 plus, because what's the mental model in our marketplace? Any sort of coaching or mentoring is literally tens of thousands of dollars, including what I used to charge. Right, so there's this whole that was my marketing thesis. Okay, that's what I had to get to. Now, here's the cool thing. The marketing thesis is a formula. Okay, it's a formula. Right, so would you like to create a marketing thesis for your business right now? Just let me know in the question box. Or we can wrap it up early if you like. Oh, yes. Yeah, yes. Yes, let's do it, please. Let me think about that. All right, you beauty. All right, let's do this. Okay, so the marketing thesis is a formula, and it's comprised of two elements. Okay, it's this plus this equals marketing thesis. The first part of the marketing thesis is the desirable result from your market, your tribe, your customer, your client's perspective. What's the result they are after? What's the desirable result? When I looked at the people I wanted to work with people who were starting out. My sweet spot is people are starting out, people who are getting going, people who have not hit that $10,000 a month. Why? Because most people won't even take you as a mentoring student before you get to that point. Right? The coach I work with won't even look at you unless you're earning $40,000 a month, right? Because they charge a fortune as well. Absolutely well worth it. But I wanted to break that paradigm, because here's the thing. The one finding from Peak that Anders Ericsson did was that coaching has the best benefit when you're just starting out, because you don't develop bad habits. And so I wanted to change the game, and I wanted to turn the rules on that head. So when I was looking at the type of people I want to work with, and I looked at what was achievable, what could I know that I, with some certainty, was able to do, because I've done it before, is get the people to the point where they're earning $10,000 a month. Okay, because that is eminently achievable in 12 months. It's a step-by-step process. I know I can do it, and I know for people who are starting from scratch, if I say, $10,000 a month, that's an absolutely desirable result. So the desirable result for my market was this $10,000 a month. Okay, so that was my desirable result. Now, here's a little exercise for you guys. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. For those of you who already got a market and comfortable with it, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to work on what's your desirable result, and when you've got it, put it in the question box. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Now, for those of you who are on here who are literally just starting from scratch, and you don't really even have a market yet, well, you're going to help me. I'd like you to create a desirable result for somebody who's reading your first dollar for the first time. Okay, so what's the desirable result for somebody who's reading your first dollar? You're all here because you've at least downloaded the book. So you can help me. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer here for 2 minutes. Yep. Set a timer for 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes, go. What's the desirable result that your client wants? What's the result? So Adam's popped one up here already. finally get the first funnel up and running. Now, the funnel is a means to an end. What's the funnel going to deliver them? Why do they want the funnel in the first place? That's actually the desirable result, right? Because the funnel in and of itself, yes, that's the step that they need to take, but what's actually why? Why do they want to have that funnel up? Make money with mobile games? Can we be, again, more specific is better, but that's a great start. Column, a healthier life. Again, that's great. That is great. Again, as we work through this process, and we're just starting from scratch here, we'll get to more and more levels of specificity, but that is a place to start. My market wants to be prepared for disaster, grid down, economic collapse. Exactly. Earn online income so I can spend more time with the kids. To provide health coaching that will transform your life. Okay, and just to use that one, Sue, can you see why, without this secret sauce that we're about to add here, that's the desirable result. So transforming their life, that's the result. You know, why? What are we transforming, right? Is a layer of specificity down, which you could go to. But that's a great start, because what I'm about to show you with the second part, you'll already see how we can take something that is like use health coaching to transform your life, as generic as you can get. We're about to completely change that. Okay, pens down. And if you're watching the recording of this, hopefully you were doing this. Not left behind, but benefit from digital disruption in their career. That they will get their first 1,000 subscribers in 6 months as a new YouTuber. Get 8 hours of deep, peaceful sleep every night. Oh, Gary, I'm loving it. Please, right? Implement your marketing plan without the tech headaches. Love it. Master the playing of Chopin Mazurka in 30 days. No, you're kidding me. No, Fred, that's awesome, right? Passive income through real estate. Now, right there, right, if we just said passive income through instant mental opt-out, right? But that's okay. It's totally sweet, because we've only dealt with the first part of our process. We're about to get to the steak knives, okay? The steak knives are this, the unique mechanism. This concept, when I heard this, the angels sang the hallelujah chorus, the light, literally a light shone down from the heavens, and it was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It's the answer to everything. It is phenomenal. So, what is the unique mechanism? Okay, so here it is. The unique mechanism is a part, a piece of your program, pocket, or service, program, product, or service that is absolutely unique to you, that will help deliver the desired result. Okay, let me say it again. The unique mechanism is the piece, part, section, process that is absolutely unique to just you, that will help deliver the desired result. Okay, so let's use, Emma was running a 5-day course on you know, getting more clients with, actually I'm not sure if it was getting more clients, but yeah, getting more traffic with Facebook to your business. Complete mental opt-out. But what if we went from, yeah, let's get some cards up here. So if we look at our formula, so desirable result, and we'll use something as generic, right? As generic as get more traffic for your biz. Now, I would argue that is generic. Do you want to let me give you a better one? Right? A better one would be get more weddings for your florist business. Okay? See what I did there? More specific, more powerful. We move from the generic to the specific. We avoid opt-out because, oh, I'm a florist. I want more weddings, as opposed to get more traffic for your biz. You're actually offering the same thing, but we're using the power of specificity, okay, to figure that out. Okay, so, but that's, even so, get more weddings for your first business. Yeah, okay, what do you got? You know, still skepticism. Then we add in our unique mechanism. Because it's desirable result plus unique mechanism equals market thesis. So what's our unique mechanism? I don't know what Emma's unique mechanism is, but let me just do this. Using the Granger method, of booking weddings. Did you see what I did there? Right? I have no idea, right? Here's what you need. Desirable bulk. Get more. So we've got desirable bulk. Get more weddings for your florist business using the Granger method of booking weddings. What did I just do? Hands up. Hands up who has heard of the Granger method? That's right, nobody. I just made it up. But here's the thing. Wow, a light bulb moment. Never. What is the Granger method? I'm desperate to find out, right? I made it up. But here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. I don't make it up, right? And you don't make, and you for sure as hell don't make it up. But I want to prove the concept to you. By having a unique mechanism, the Granger method, we've instantly made this ad stand out 100%, because I don't know what the Granger method is. When you saw the Swedish scientist, 10 violinists and a guinea pig, there's no mental opt-out box. There is no box. There is no box there, because it's your unique process. And this is a huge $20 word which Todd uses, the transmorfiguration of a process, or taking some part of your process and giving it a name, will make all the difference. Okay, let's look at some very, 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 very famous examples. The first one I would like to, Exhibit A, is Mass Control by Frank Kern, one of the most successful email marketing courses of all time. And yes, that's what it was. It was an email marketing course. But Frank, in his genius marketing, didn't call it an email marketing course. Why? Because immediate mental opt-out, right? It's immediate mental. I know what an email marketing course is. I've done email marketing before. Sorry, I've got plenty. I've got many other things to do, and Housewives of Atlanta is on in 30 minutes. Right? I'm not going to check that. But Mass Control, what? Mass Control? It's also almost a little cheeky, right? This is what Agora do with the end. You know, all of those, and this is, you know, and this is what's so important. When you look at, oops, when you look at your marketing timeline, I, for years, created product after product after product. It was like a circle. It was like a dance, right? And then I'd have to create idea after idea after idea. A lot of hard work. What I realized and what Todd showed me, and indeed what what I now know to be very true, is here's the thing: all of that, the Gora, all of that, the death of America, the Obama has a mistress, all of the like dozens of different campaigns, all different big ideas to appeal to their particular audience. Do you know what they sell? It's a $45 stock newsletter that's been going for 45 years. All of these incredible concepts have been to sell this one newsletter. And they do it to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, they have various newsletters now in different markets and all that sort of thing. But if you get this right, you can come up with whole new front sections of, you can create new ideas, new leads to come to the point where you're selling the same product. So you can spend your time servicing your clients, not having to create new lots of products all the time, but create new volumes of things, right? So again, here's the formula. The marketing thesis equals desirable result plus unique mechanism. So let me say, oh, actually, some of you have anticipated what I'm going to get you to do. So what I would like you to do now is come up with a unique mechanism. Now, you can do one of two things. You can do what I did and call it the Granger method. Don't do that. Pick something else. Or you may have, what's the part of your process that is truly unique? What is the thing that you may indeed have something that is truly unique? And guess what? The earlier you are in market sophistication, and don't worry, Michael, we're going to get to market sophistication literally just in a second. Sometimes you don't have to work as hard to come to a particular big idea because it's totally unique in the first place, right? If it's unique already, then you don't have to think about it because it's already unique. You know, the very first course in 3D printing is completely unique. So you don't have to actually go too hard. But here's the thing. Do you see how now, doesn't matter where you are in a market, you can create an entire blue ocean for yourself by utilizing the concept of a unique mechanism. And it's the thing that you do uniquely. So what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to set the timer for another 2 minutes. And I would like you to, if you can, come up, what's the piece of your particular product surface that you deliver? What's the unique element? What's your special sauce? Step back from that. If you don't know yet, well, what I'd love you to come up with, you can use your first dollar as an example, right? And you can say, okay, what's the methodology? What's the unique mechanism for your first dollar? Or indeed, as a third thing, you can just totally make it up, but see, when I read them out, you'll see how powerful it is. Okay, so give you 2 minutes. Let's have a practice at developing some unique mechanisms. I'm just reading through some of the comments. Oh my God, brilliant. Clickbait headings to sell a newsletter. That's, you know what, Cara, I agree with you. It's horrible, right? I don't like it at all. I'll never do it. However, that's probably stopped me from understanding and utilizing these concepts which Todd taught me. You know, sometimes you have to get the ideology away from it, but we can use it in our marketplace in a really super positive way by helping us stand out to deliver our message, because that's what we want to do. We want to deliver our product and service so we can help people. And by the way, after the training session, we're going to have a Q&A session where I am going to love helping you work through this. Guided neurotransformation, Gary. Love it. Unique element. Volunteering in luxury focused on families. That's the unique element. Now, what can we call it? What do we call it? The Thunder Giraffe method. That certainly got my curiosity. Ah, Linda, love it. Happiness L.I.S.T. List stands for likes, interests, and special things a caregiver likes to do for fun, and the idea of being a conscious caregiver, which means applying mindfulness to caregiving. Love it. Do you see how is the unique mechanism, you know, so I could see something like, you know, so you take your desired, what's the desired result, and add that unique mechanism. In fact, that's what I'd love you guys to do now. Now let's bring your marketing thesis together and let's have a go taking the desired result and then adding in the, what was it, the tripping giraffe methodology or the Granger method, and just have a look at how that fits together. Because if you look at, once you've got your marketing thesis, remember where the marketing thesis fits. Oops. Here we go. The marketing thesis fits right here at the end of the funnel. So, for example, let's see. Yeah, so you've got Farming Secrets Club. Anytime you use the word secrets and club, mental opt-out. Absolute mental opt-out. By using the executive relaunch approach. Love it. Right? The DIGS method, Glenn. I love it. Deep in-game social integration. That is awesome. So how to make, so let's use that as an example. So if we're here at the believe the marketing thesis stage, what you have to prove, and guess what, high fact finders? Now you've got a destination for your funnel. This is what's so powerful, all you high fact finders out here. That's why I'm so excited to bring this to you. Because now Glenn has a target. You are going to be able to, oops, you know, you're going to be able to make money in game apps by using the DIGS method. Now we can refine that a lot, but look what we've done already. Do you see the power of that? Make money in game app, snore, mental opt-out, by using the DIGS method. Hang on, DIGS? What's that? Is that something I should know about? Do you see the power of the unique mechanism? Right, this is extraordinary. Now, I want to leave you with one final thing before we go into the questions and answers. Michael asked about how do you know about the sophistication level of your marketplace? Well, as Todd put together, he put together this prospect awareness pyramid. And if you look at the market, there's a market that's completely, so if we look at, let's continue with Glenn's example. So he's teaching people to, using the DIGS methodology, love it, right, to create a make a game and make money, right? Selling a game in the App Store. So completely unaware could be anybody, right? People that aren't aware that you can make a game or that's easy or that you can use this methodology to do it. They're completely unaware. Then there are people who are problem aware. They would like to, so these are people who would like to make money, right? But they're not sure what type of money, where would they like, they just have this concept that, yeah, I've got a problem, I've got too much month at the end of the money, and I need this, right? So they're problem aware. Then you take the next level of sophistication up, they're solution aware. Oh yes, I can invest in real estate, I can invest in the stock market. Perhaps they could make computer, maybe develop an app is a way to make money. They've got all of these different, so they're solution aware. Then the next level of sophistication is that they've decided they're product aware. In other words, yes, I want to make money with computer games and I'm aware of black box, the digs method, etc., etc., etc. And then there's the most aware, which are basically people who are already your clients. Okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean? Okay, if you look in terms of audience side, so if you look on the right, you can see the biggest audience is for when you create a marketing campaign for the completely unaware, because that's the biggest audience. Trouble is, right, it's the hardest type of campaign to get right, but it's the biggest home run if you get it right. It's also the longest funnel because you've got to educate people right throughout this process. Whereas if they're the most aware, like your Academy members, if I come up with something new, I can pretty much tell you the offer, right, of what that is, because we've already been through all of this, right? We've been through all this level of the pyramid, but that's the smallest audience and it's got the shortest funnel requirement. So your market and where you're targeting your advertising falls somewhere in this pyramid. And what that means is that is the different type of leads. And when I say leads, what I mean is the different types of leads that you use. Like right down here, there's only one type of lead you can use, which is telling a story, which is why Agora is so powerful with those, Death of America type things, because it grabs your attention and tells a story. Okay, so that's why they're so powerful. Whereas up here, you can effectively just tell an offer lead. Here's the thing, here's what it does, here's what's involved, here's how much it is. It's all you have to do, because it's most aware. And then there's a spectrum. And what's fascinating, and again, this is not for the topic today, this is to wet your whistle when it comes to leads, there are different types of leads that are effective for the different parts of where your market is. All right, so core to today is understanding this. The marketing thesis equals the desirable result plus the unique mechanism. And to keep in mind, our timeline is, as we work backwards, believing the marketing thesis is the key. If people arrive at this point of the marketing timeline where you have convinced them through your marketing arguments that they can, to use Glenn's example, make money in a game app using the digs method, then all you have to say is, guess what? Here's this brilliant course on how to do the digs method step by step. It's a 6-week course. It takes you through all of the ways that you can implement the digs method, right? Because at that point, they're convinced, I need the digs method. The digs method is what I need to make money with a game app. I need the digs method, which is something that's completely unique that nobody, so you cut through. People can't mental opt out on your funnel because you have this unique mechanism. And what you've got to all understand is that it can be the tiniest element. It can be a thing, but here's the thing. It must be 100% unique to you. And that is the power of this process. So before we go into Q&A, what I'd like to finish up on is your biggest insight from the training today. What's Diane got here? Get inspired to decorate your home with something that you carry around with you every day. Get inspired to decorate your home with something that you carry around that'll get you inspired to decorate your home with something you carry around every day. So some needs work, but there's curiosity. And what's awesome is you'll be able to take, now that we've all got the same basis, guess what? Now you'll be able to go into the Niche Style Academy group, and for Academy members, sorry, your first dollars, but for the Academy group members, you'll now be able to go into the group and say, hey, here's my thing, here's the thing, here's my marketing thesis, here's the unique, the desired result. Can we sharpen that up? Can we go from getting more clients to getting weddings for florists so that that becomes more sharp? And then here's my unique mechanism, and you can give the unique mechanism and people can give you feedback on that. So we've got a shared language for that, which is awesome. So powerful. Thank you. The deep root system. I love it, Helen. Gaining your first 1,000 subscribers using the rookie multiplier method. Love it. Get past the tech hell of making your first dollar online with the X method. I need to think of something interesting sounding. It's so simple yet so powerful. Brilliant, says Fred. How to create a blue ocean. The first funnel could make the $10,000 a month. That's so true. Marketing thesis is the destination, Cara. Absolutely. Unique mechanism, naming the market. For our initial market, Alex says, use the visual canvas methods to convince lenders, investors, and funders to approve the financing you need to achieve your business and personal goals. Yeah, use the visual canvas method. Exactly. And as a general rule with a marketing thesis, you lead with the desired result first and then go with the marketing thesis. Why? Sorry, the unique mechanism. Why do we do that? People only care about them. Don't lead with the method. Don't lead with the unique mechanism. Lead with their desired result. So it's desired result plus unique mechanism. It's very important that you do it in that order, but that's great. As per Todd, purpose of marketing thesis, giving them hope there is a new method, because here's the thing, people don't buy incremental improvement anymore. They just don't. It's got to be new. It's got to be something that's unique, or they're not interested because their filtering mechanism, they're getting offered improvements every single day. The unique method, the marketing thesis, allows you to create blue oceans, and that is what's so powerful about it. Heavy, but I love it. I never realized my happiness list was so special. Great concept. How to benefit from digital disruption in your career and not being left behind by using the executive relaunch approach. See how much more powerful? See how much more powerful that is, Michael, just by saying that, right? That is the key to this. That they see the result first. Cullum, struggling with this. What's unique to me with a network marketing product offer? I can tell you what the X lead generation system, Cullum, would be something like that. My huge moment, change the game by creating curiosity via my unique mechanism. No predetermined audience perception. Absolutely. I can't put my finger on one thing that's been the most insightful. It all has been. I'm going to rewatch this a few times because it's the most valuable lesson I've ever had. Thank you. Gotcha. If you're going to go in a new market, you have to learn the language of the market before developing your unique mechanism or marketing thesis. Absolutely. I wanted to, I've given you here with the marketing timeline, I've given you dessert. Okay. This is dessert. Okay. The whole part of this, there's an important part of researching the market that's key to this. Todd is actually coming out with he's bringing out the E5 masterclass, I think, next month or so. And I'm going to be recommending pretty much everybody should get it. If you've got the opportunity and the resources to get it, you should get it because it's a huge thing. But we'll be rolling out elements of it right through the Academy as well. Because you're absolutely right, JD, that there's a huge market research element. Like if you were to break up, implement creating this over a 4-week period, two weeks would be spent in effectively the market research phase. because big ideas, and again, we're going to cover the big ideas and the lead in another lesson. That's not something that you can just come up with on the spot, right? It's just not. It goes through, you have to load up, you have to fill up that fuel tank with ideas and concepts and parts of the market. And what's everybody else offering? What are the emotional appeals that everybody else is offering? There's a lot to that, okay? But the marketing thesis is something that can get you hooked on it. Become a calmer family caregiver by using your happiness L.is. How much better does that sound, Linda? How much better does that sound already? This has been a mind-blowing moment for me. It seems so simple and logical and just what I needed to hear today, Mirren. Very good. So I already have the offer converting. Do I just kind of work backwards for mine? Absolutely. Tons. It does sound tons better. No more student loans for your kid's university degree using the killer coconut method. What in the hell is the killer coconut method? Color me intrigued. Yes, my student loans, kids college would be the way I'd do that, not university. Yeah, fantastic. That's brilliant. All right. Okay, I'm going to have a little drink of water here. And I'd love questions and answers, and we can either bring you on if you want to talk it through. The triple D method, love it, John Yasma. Dream, draw, design, triple D, perfect. Now let's check out what the time is here. Okay, cool. Now, I don't even know if I need a crazy name yet. No more tech hell stopping you from making your first dollar online. When people have got a strong problem and you've got a solution, there's not a lot you have to do to get in the way. Because again, look at where people are in, absolutely here. So Adam, if they're already hugely aware, if they're up here in the most aware, guess what? You don't need much of it. If they're super aware, they've got tech problems and they know that you're the answer to that solution, then it's fine. So if I, for example, am recommending somebody to you to sort out their ClickFunnels stuff, you don't need anything more than that because they're already in most aware. They've got a recommendation, they've got all of those sorts of things. Where we need to expand, when we start to expand the business, when we do our marketing to people who are not getting a direct referral, say from me to you, all of a sudden they're coming down. They may be solution aware, so they need more work because there are various people offering these type of services. They can go to Fiverr, they can go to all these sorts of things. And that's where your unique mechanism comes into play. Because if you hit a market that was solution aware with that message, mental opt out. Okay, do you see where I'm going with that? Do you use this approach also for your tripwire or initial offering? Yes, in fact, this is all about the tripwire offering. In fact, literally what I'm doing right now is taking this process, because what's so awesome about this process, here, let me go back to the timeline here for a second. Okay, so I used this exact timeline methodology to create my Swedish scientist webinar, which converted really well. The trouble is, there's parts of my market that will just not go on a webinar if their house was on fire. So guess what? I'm taking exactly the same elements and then using it, same big idea, same thing, and writing a sales letter, because there are certain areas of my market that will use with a sales letter. So I'm doing exactly the same thing, Michael. And my tripwire product, the first way that people are going to be able to pay me money, and bless you all for doing so, love you long time, is I'm going to be selling the Your First Dollar Implementation course, and that's a $497 course. So that's what I'm going to be using for my tripwire. And one of the things that, if you look at the big players in the info marketing world, they're not even collecting emails anymore. They're collecting buyers, right? They're not even collecting emails. They're collecting buyers as their first step. But the misconception in the marketplace is that you always have to have a low price initial thing. That's not the case. If you do your marketing right and you're speaking to the right type of person, you can, your first sale can be an expensive product. And the great thing about that is the more expensive the product, the more you can afford for the lead, the more you can spend, the more buyers you get. So it's this virtuous circle. Hirsch says, am I right in understanding that for someone starting from scratch is still steering towards the actual product might be? Without asking what the audience needs, we educate them on what they need before we offer. That's right. So renovation and if we just said to people, how to not get ripped off in your renovation, right? That's the premise. And that's what's the desired result of your market. That's the first question that you have to understand. And so for the renovation market, let's say they just don't want to be ripped off. Right, that's a big, like, I know that was my number one thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to be ripped off. So if your lead generation, right, you don't have a product right now, but if your lead generation was don't get ripped off in your renovation by using the blah method, and that is whatever your Sage document is, boom, that right there. If you just have don't get ripped off in your renovation, free report shows. What does free report shows? What does that instantly do? Mental opt-out, free report, mental opt-out. People don't mind reports and books and all that sort of thing, but if there's no intrigue, mental opt-out. Do you see where I'm going with that? Very, very powerful when you start to think about that. And what I'm so excited about it is Academy members are going to be creating this amazing Facebook stuff that very few people, Justin Brooke, who I was sitting next to at the E5, does all of the Facebook advertising for Agora, spends literally over $1 million a month in Facebook advertising. He manages the whole thing. And he uses just uniquely this methodology to do it. So, which is pretty cool. Take your UAV aerial photography business to the next level with the eagle eye method, right? Awesome. Now, what process do we use to create this unique method if we're not already an expert in the subject matter? So it starts with desired result. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand is what is the desired result of your market. And then, and again, remember we skipped this? Actually, the first part of the E5 process is actually, is the offer. Okay, it's developing the offer. That's actually the first part of the process. Read. So that's how we do it. Because if you think about it, okay, here's the desired result of my market. What do I need to deliver to get my tribe that desired result? That process, which by the way is a step-by-step approach, allows you to build the offer. Does that make sense? So you look at the desired result, you go, okay, what would I have to deliver that desired result? And then you build the offer. You build the offer for your product first, because here's the other interesting thing. Here's where this goes, okay? Remember we talked about minimum viable funnel. Okay, we talked about minimum viable funnel. Now, with our minimum viable funnel, one of the things we can do to truly test a marketplace is we can create an offer. We can create our sales page using our marketing campaign methodology, which I've just shown you. So that could be let's just for argument's sake say it's a sales letter. So the sales letter is our unique campaign. We've got our offer here. And then we've got a buy button. And guess what? That goes to a page which says, thanks. We are in production and we'll let you know when this is ready. See what's happening here? That's what I mean by minimum viable funnel. So you can, without even going to product stage, you can test the entire sequence because we've created the marketing thesis. We know what we need to get people to believe. We've got the marketing arguments, because remember, nothing in this part of the process is talking about the product. Not one thing. It's all about convincing them that for you to achieve your desired result, you need to implement this unique mechanism. That's what we're doing. That's what we're convincing people of. All right, Glenn's got a question here. I have a question. After learning about specifically the mental opt-out and the marketing thesis, should I change my Sage in order to get more emails? Current Sage title is Marketing Your Mobile Game. Yes. So desired result using in your case, what was it? The DISC method. Using the DISC method to marketing your mobile game. Instantly, yes, because Sage titles become more compelling, which will help them read the report, which will, again, we've got their email, so we're starting the Windhaven method regardless, but doesn't it make sense that the more people who read your Sage document, they get their biggest pain solved or on the journey to having it solved, and so they're much more likely to be open to whatever you have to offer. Because the lead and the big idea is all about just getting them to consume the marketing argument so that you can convince them of your marketing thesis. Alex says, can you use your unique experience to make your argument even more compelling? For example, Rick and I have been on both sides representing client and decision makers. Yes, that becomes part of the marketing argument. And again, you wouldn't be saying Rick and Alex. What you'd be saying is, to get your delivered results, so one of your marketing argument, remember, statement, proof, one of your statements would be, you need to get, and I'll make this up, you need to get a coach that has been on both sides of the equation, that they have been representing the clients and they've represented the decision makers. Because if you haven't had somebody who's been on both sides of the equation, you won't get the best result. Proof, here's an example of where somebody hadn't had any experience on the decision-making side, and here's what happened. Boom, segment. Do you start to see how powerful this is? Because all of a sudden, and you high fact finders, you should be so excited right now, because it takes something that you're so fearful of and makes it a very logical process that is right up your alley. Okay, it's right up your alley, and that is what's so important, so awesome about it. Do you collect buyers without email? No, you always get their email and their contact details. Although one of the statements I heard at E5, which was interesting, is that a pixel is the new opt-in. Just getting the Facebook pixel so you can retarget them on Facebook is as good as an opt-in these days. If I use the marketing thesis anywhere in my Facebook lead ad, I need to redo my Sage document because it doesn't have the happiness list mentioned in it. It only has using mindfulness in caregiving as one of 3 tips. Yeah, you may have to edit it slightly. This is one of the elements. All you have to do is add in 1 paragraph. This, one of the key elements of the happiness list, L.I.S.T, is this process. And off you go. So it's not a big deal. Yes, got it. Good. That's fantastic. Get inspired to have a fabulous looking home for you and your family by using the DDA method, which is an acronym for your magazine. Fantastic. Because if you just said get good ideas from your magazine, mental opt-out, because people already know it, right? They know things. Be prepared tomorrow by using the pioneer methods of the past. Yeah, by using key lessons from our pioneer. Just something that intrigue, and even maybe massage that a little bit, Scott, to take unique elements of methods from our pioneering past. See, so you amping up that curiosity and intrigue level. Because again, pioneer methods, you could be dealing with a market, right, with the sophistication triangle that they're already well and truly solution aware, and it may be even product aware. So it needs to be something that is a little bit soon. I think I'm getting stuck in offering DFY stuff, been so focused on getting it smoother that I haven't figured out my sage yet. Well, I think in your case, you've got to, you have to get this service offering right, because one of the things that marketing will do to any business that's not well designed is destroy it. Because if you have too many people going in, you've got all of that there. Yeah, feel free to Vox me. Is there a limit to length? Mine is get 8 hours of deep people sleep every night, wake up feeling refreshed and energized using the guided neurotransformation method. No, I think Facebook would allow you to have that as the lead. Yeah, you haven't got you or your in there, which is a bit of a thing. You'd have to make sure your Sage document is congruent with that. But no, and again, you modify it depending on where you are in the media. The beautiful thing about the marketing timeline, as you see it there, is it's independent of media. You could do this as a launch funnel. You could do this as Facebook lead gen campaign. You can do this as a YouTube video campaign. You can do this as an email campaign. You can do this as a long form sales letter campaign. You can do it as a video sales campaign. You can plug this in any which way. You just modify the elements. You take the blocks and modify them so that they're appropriate to what you are doing. All right, folks, what a session. You can see why I was so excited to kick this off with you guys and and make this available to you. Like I said, it's huge props to Todd Brown, former student, become total master, for coming up with this incredible concept, because I think this is one of our secret weapons, Academy members, right? This is just going to absolutely be a secret weapon for us, because nobody's doing this stuff in the marketplace. This is the rarity, not the commonality, and we are going to be able to apply that in all of our campaigns to devastatingly good effect, and I can't wait to do that with you. So with that, thank you very much for attending today. The recordings and everything will be up a bit later on, and I can't wait to discuss this with you in the Facebook groups at the Academy. So really looking forward to that as well. All right, that's it. Ciao for now. Thanks, everybody.